Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for SH Figuarts. We have Super Saiyan Son Gohan. In a nutshell, it's basically a variation of Gohan, kind of like the awakened version of Goku with the battle damage, which I have right here. But this also gives a new mold for him, which is great. I have the older version of Gohan here. You know, this is not too bad, but I have problems with this. So one in particularly that this particular arm keeps popping off. I had to put a little bit of blue tack there to kind of hold it in place. It's not bad, but when I start moving the elbow joint, it just pop off. It's just not a good connection for some, reason. So, anyways, that's that. And not to mention, I'm not a fan of this sleeve. I really wish they retool that or just change that particular design. Yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at the new Gohan. Here's what's inside. Similarly from the original release, we're gonna have an alternate head here, which is basically the Super Saiyan 1 version. And this is when he turns Super Saiyan 2. I think that's what it is. We are getting a different face here. Looks like that's when he gets hurt, or when his left arm got badly damaged, along with accompanying dangling hand here as well. Yeah, so that's quite nice. A little different from what we're getting in. I can already see here the different joint system, which is good. So that's pretty much it. Right, so we have Gohan here. I do like this particular shade of purple. This one, it's a little too glossy. Yep. And again, a little comparison with the joints. This one is a bit more full compared to this one, and his arm is actually a little bit more bulkier. Yeah, it's quite nice. Alright, so going over articulation, for the most part, Figuarts has good articulation. Sometimes they do have some little weird ones, but here we go. So you can look up, look down, side to side. So fairly nice. Now we can swap out. We have a variety of faces. So let's swap it out. Let's see how this thing. 2 pegs, and let's try this one, the angry one. There we go. Swap this out. Someone will ask, can you use the faces with the old style? Let's see here. We can't, because you're using a square peg. I mean, we could try. Nah, it's not gonna fit. Yeah, the head itself is actually a little smaller. This mold is smaller compared to the new one. Interesting. Right, even the front part, it's a little bit more lighter than the back side. It's weird. Anyways, getting back to this. Right, so moving on, we have the shoulder here. Now, I thought that this is kind of like a butterfly joint that can swing forward, but you can't. All it does, it can move up and down. Kind of like similarly on this side here. Still, it's still good. Yeah, fairly good articulation here. Bicep swivel, elbow bend. Elbow bend is kind of odd. It reminds me of Play Sky. I'm not a fan of this particular joint system when it's like this. When it's really flat, your elbow is supposed to be pointed. And just a comparison to this, it's not the best joint, but at least it's pointed. This one is flat. Not good. Let's see Goku here. I think for him, yeah, it's flat too, but this is a little bit more pointed down here. But still, it doesn't look good. Well, that might be one of the downside on this. Other than that, it's not too bad when it's outstretched like this. Yeah, it's actually good. Alright, so next up is the mid-torso. You can wiggle it just a little bit. And then again, you don't want to move too far for the mid section because this will break the illusion. You You can move side to side a little bit. The waist, oh, you can move around, no problem. This is free floating as well. Has a little bit flex on it for this mold here, or the shredded shirt. Let's see what else. This cuffs here, I think it's molded in. Yeah, it's part of that. Now for the waist, it's the new style, which obviously will cover the bottom. It's not the it's not like you see the socket for the ball joint. I really like this design. Similar with Goku here, I think. Yep, this one actually fills the gap on the bottom quite well. But for smaller figures here, they made it well, yeah, thinner. It doesn't look as good. I kind of wish it's a bit more fuller. Yep, but it does give you fairly good articulation. It's quite nice. Split, not too much, or yeah, but not, you know, nonetheless, that's fine. And you have a thigh swivel there as well. Yeah, I guess you can do the split this way. Then you have the knees. So the knees are kind of interesting. You can definitely bend them. Just be careful, I made this mistake already. So if you look closely, there is a bit of a, I guess, stress mark there for the plastic. That's because of this joint system here. There's a kind of like a peg, like a nub on top, which is supposed to go in to that bottom section right there. So if you fold this first, the bottom joint, it's gonna hit that. So you want to make sure you bend the top one first or something of that sort. Yep, and bend it all the way. That way you don't hit that, but in some instances you might have hit it already without knowing. So knee bend, it's a little bit better than 90 degree, and you know, that's actually good. Although there's gaps here and there, and it's a bit off in certain angles. Like what is that? It looks like the knee is floating. It's not too bad. I mean, there is gonna be a limitation of what they can do, especially with that type of clothing. So same thing on the other side. Well, this one, I don't think it's gonna matter much, but always bend the top joint first before the bottom. And yeah, it's the same thing. You can bend it that much. Next part is this. I mean, you can definitely move it around. I kind of wish there's some kind of locking mechanism, like maybe a tab inside that just turn a certain way, not all the way. Because sometimes if you're not paying attention, it goes like this, and it looks really odd. Like it has a broken foot. Let's see here. It is a ball joint. Although I kind of wish it has a hinge, because it's kind of hard for him to stand now. I think that might be a concern for other people, where there's no ankle tilt on Gohan. Yeah, I mean, you got a toe joint, but you know, if you're trying to have him in a nice pose, it's kind of hard to do that because of this. And now it's kind of loose now. It is on that ball joint there. Yeah. No ankle tilt. Ah, jeez. Anyways, that's that. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and swap this. And let's have the really hurt face. There we go. And let's swap out with that dangling hand here. Whoops. There we go. And I guess we could use the other one, kind of like a support, for when he's holding his damaged arm. There we go. Yeah. Actually, it would have been great if they replace it with something. Not sure if I mentioned that already, but if they give us an alternate arm, Yeah, and it has the, you know, weathering and the damage, the paint, the blood. That would have been great. I'm actually kind of curious how this thing is connected. So let's go ahead and pop this out. I know it's kind of weird, but oh, it's a different style. It's not the bolt joint I thought it would be. It's like a, so it's a socket, and you see the bolt joint there. But definitely, I think that could be something that they could have done. Replace this, or if you have an alternate arm here. Interesting. So that's why it's this a little bit. It's a weird joint. It works. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and swap out the face. Let's have it with the this one. When he's doing the one hand Kamehameha. There we go. Yeah, quite nice. And just have a Goku here on the back. Alright, so anyways, I think that's pretty much it for this review. I have to say, it is a bit better than the first one, definitely, especially with the joints here and there. I like this battle damage version, especially for Goku's. Although, I mean, we kind of see a little bit of problems here and there. The elbow, it's too straight. The knee might get, yeah, on the backside. The ankle, it is a ball joint, but there's no hinge, and tilting is not quite there. So a few problems, but overall, I think it's still a great addition to your Dragon Ball collection. Anyways, that's about it for my review. Got mine from Tatsu Hobby. I'll provide the link down below, and that's about it. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching. And yeah, if you're just wondering about this particular head, more than likely we're not going to use this. We probably use the Super Saiyan 2 version. Yeah, there it is.